Hi guys, it is June 1st, Monday. We just have a little bit of a reading assignment today, and I don't think you have any math left, so I think your teachers are wanting you to do Moby Max. All right, so let's take a look on page 46. It says How We Speak, and this is a science article. So it says, as you read, look inside, around, and beyond these words to figure out what they mean. Release and vibrate. All right, let's begin. It says speaking is possible because we have special parts in our bodies: lungs, throat, voice box, tongue, and lips. When we speak, we release air from our lungs. If we are going to speak a long sentence, our, our brains tell our bodies to push out a long puff of air. If we are speaking only a word or two, the puff will be smaller. This puff of air goes from the lungs through the larynx, which is made up of cartilage and muscle. The larynx, often called the voice box, contains vocal cords that stretch across the opening. When the air passes through the vocal cords, they vibrate or move back and forth quickly and make a sound. All right, so let's look at this graph. This says nasal cavity, oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, teeth, lips, tongue, vocal cords, larynx or voice box, and trachea. All right, that was that first article, a science article, and now we've got what are vocal cords. As you read, look inside, around, and beyond these words to figure out what they mean. Concert and automatically. Sorry. If you think that vocal cords are like strings on a guitar, you'd be wrong. Actually, vocal cords are vocal folds, or many layers of tissue that vibrate in your larynx. You can still use the term vocal cords, however, as both terms mean the same thing. The vocal cords have a V shape. How do we use the vocal cords? To make a high sound, we tighten the vocal cords. To make a low sound, we relax the cords. And most people do all this without even thinking. So now the sound is coming through the vocal cords, but the sound isn't a word yet. Next is that we use our throat, tongue, mouth, and lips to shape the sound into vowels and consonants. For example, say a word like football or window. Notice how you open your mouth and move it around when you change vowels and consonants. Notice how you move your tongue and change its shape as you speak. You're making a fancy concert of sounds inside your mouth. Speaking seems like the most natural thing in the world, and when we do speak, we rarely, if ever, think about how we create words and sentences. Even so, we aren't born knowing how to make words automatically. And then you see from this diagram the trachea, the vocal folds, and the tongue. All right, another article, dogs and birds making noise. Words to know. As you read, look inside, around, and beyond these words to figure out what they mean. Variety, anatomy, imitate. All right, let's look at this one. It says animals can make a variety of sounds, from the loud barking of a dog to the sweet song of a bird. How do animals make these sounds? A dog can make quite a few sounds, from whines to loud barking sounds. Scientists say that the dog has vocal cords much like the humans inside its thorax or chest. So why can't a dog speak? The big difference is in the dog's anatomy, or the structure of its body. A dog's mouth is not as flexible as a human's. A dog can't move its mouth to make it smaller or roll its tongue in different positions. So after the air passes through the vocal cords, the dog can't change the sound very much. Birds, on the other hand, can make a wide variety of sounds. Some birds, like parrots, can even imitate human speech. Singing birds have a larynx, but they don't have vocal cords. Instead, a singing bird uses its syrinx to make sounds. The syrinx is in the throat and is made up of membranes, like thin pieces of skin, that form the sounds when air passes through them. Birds can vary the sounds by squeezing or loosening the tension of the muscles in the syrinx. They move their esophagus, windpipe, pharynx, and mouth to vary the sounds. Like humans, birds have to learn how to make these sounds. Some birds, like vultures and some storks, don't have a syrinx, so you'll never hear these birds singing a note. Some of the birds' sound-making structures. Okay, here's air sacs, syrinx, trachea, larynx, tongue, bill. All right, let's look at the questions. Use what you have learned from reading the sources to answer the following questions. All right, this question has two parts. First, answer part A, then answer part B. Okay, part A. What idea do how we speak and what our vocal cords share? All right, let's take a look at A. Several parts of our body. We can make sounds because we have vocal folds. C, your mouth and tongue help you form vowels. Air travels from the lungs to the voice box. Okay, so some of these are mentioned just in, okay, well this one's talking about, okay, let's look up here. So we skim. Okay, so this is talking about, let's look here. Okay, this is, talks about the vowels and consonants here, how we speak. Okay, vocal folds is here, so that one about vocal folds is in the first one. Okay, this was in the first one. This was in the first one. Okay, so it looks like the one that's the same because this is how animals make the sounds. So the two share that. Hold on a minute. Did I go back far enough? Oh, no, I didn't. I see how we speak. Okay, hold on. Okay, this talks about the different parts that help us to speak. Okay, so it's A, several parts of our bodies work together to let us speak. All right, and then choose one detail from each source to support that. All right, so let's look. Verse 3. So let's look. Speaking is possible because we have special parts in our bodies, the lungs, throat, voice box, tongue, and lips. B, when we speak, we release air from our lungs. Okay, so we are supporting several parts of our body. Well, this one's talking about all the different parts. The larynx, often called the voice box, contain vocal cords that stretch. Okay, B and C are talking about just one part. Lungs here, larynx here. This one's talking about we use several parts, which will support several parts of our bodies work together. So B, this one is A. And then for D, E, and F, actually, vocal cords are vocal folds or many layers of tissue that vibrate. Well, that's talking about just vocal cords. To make a sound, we tighten the vocal cords. What happens next is that we use our throat, tongue, mouth, and lips. All right, this is talking about all parts. So this would be A and F to support A up here. All right, let's look at 2. Circle the word in the paragraph below that means capable of bending easily without breaking. So why can't a dog speak? The big difference is in the dog's anatomy or the structure of its body. A dog's mouth is not as flexible as a human's. A dog can't move its mouth to make it smaller or roll its tongue in different positions. So after the air passes through the vocal cords, the dog can't change the sound very much. So the word that means capable of bending easily without breaking would be flexible. And a dog's tongue is not, or mouth is not flexible like a human's. Okay? And then number 3, let's take a look. What information in what are vocal cords helps the reader understand why dogs can't speak as stated in Dogs and Birds Making Noise? All right, A, people can make higher sounds by tightening the vocal sounds by relaxing the cords. B, even though we don't often think about how we say words and sentences, we don't learn to speak automatically. C, people move their mouths to form words from the sounds made by the vocal cords. And the vocal cords of humans are not like the strings of a guitar because they are V-shaped. Well, the whole reason that we can make words and dogs can't is because our mouths are flexible and can move. The tongue and lips can all move to make the sounds. Okay?